plum. A pipe or something hit me in the face. It hit my jaw. I really didn't think I had any teeth left. It happened so fast, bang! And then I was in the water. All these things and life rafts were falling from the ship. Your strength was not enough against nature. It was too much. Strength did not help you. It was more like luck, fate. I believe in that.
Estonia! Estonia!
The Mariella tries to raise the Finnish Coast Guard in Turku, but interference prevents the message from reaching the mainland.
Siin Mariella, Turkule, vastake palun, lõpp. Siin Mariella, Estonia Mayday, korda, Estonia Mayday, palun vastake.
The third officer sends the very last message to the Silja Europa.
Kui kaugel te olete? Nüüd tundu tosi huonolta.
Jah, me oleme juba teel. Jõuame umbes 48 minuti pärast.
Water breaches the bridge, the highest point on the ship. The decision to jump, when and where, is the difficulty facing Kent Harstead and his companion Sarah.
Vilket jävla vapen. Jag var byten och tänker på det. Jag vill inte slå mig på vägen ner. Det är snart. Jag står den bästa platsen.
I guess it must mean a jump about 15-20 meters, so it was quite a challenge to anyone. But then actually the captain, he blew the horn 3 times.
We just hear the horn and the siren, and then the bridge crashed in the water.
Jag tänker ifrån kaptenen. Det är den sista signalen för oss. Jag kommer inte nog hela båten ner oss i sjön. Det är signalen för oss att göra.
Okej.
I felt very sentimental. A moment you just read about in books, captains deciding to follow the boat into the depth.
Captain Anderson will go down with his ship.
All windows just crashed and blew up out. So it was a big scene. And then there was a big wave come and take us in the water.
Den fernatten judarna dog. Nu stoppar vi nästa vecka.
Det låter bra. Vi gör det.
It was half by decision and half by the boat started to turn again. We went into the water. We got something around our waists. I got some very heavy things that dragged me down. And after some moments of struggle, I just gave up. I felt that I won't make it. Instead, I started to take in water, and I must have fainted. And then next moment, I woke up at the surface.
Sara, är det?
Ja, det är jag. Vem är det?
Det är Glenn. Kan du rädda Glenn? Säg.
Rolf Sorman and his workmate Ivan seized their chance.
I felt that I was sucked down in the water. Even when I had this life jacket on, it was not enough buoyancy to bring me to the surface. So I had to swim away from Estonia, 100 meters or something, to get rid of this suction feeling. Because all the compartments inside the ship that was air-filled was now going to be water-filled. And it was like bubbling water, boiling water.
But Michael Oon isn't letting go. He's managed to escape the sea by climbing right around onto the upturned hull.
It was very surrealistic. The cabins now were down in the sea. The ship had tilted even more.
Michael Oon scrambles up the hull to the stabilizer wing, now the highest point of the ship.
I thought that if the help is on their way, there could be a helicopter above us. So then I remembered I had put my camera in my pocket. And I just hold it in front of me, and I was giving a flash up to the sky, maybe to help to see it. And then I saw two other ferries, so I hold my camera, and then I pressed it again.
Michael decides he can stay no longer.
Now I was very lucky that I didn't hit anything that was floating in the water. I had no life jacket when I swam. I lost it when I fall into the water.
Without a life jacket, Michael makes it to the safety of a nearby raft. Rolf Sorman, who is a trained diver, has a more grueling experience. He swims off with Yvonne, but soon encounters a group of passengers suffering from shock and hypothermia.
There was some people that were more or less like zombies. They scared me a lot, because I thought perhaps they want to use me as a floating device. I tried to talk to them and to fix their eyes and things like that, and it was no reaction. Just like this. And they were alive. They were quite shocked or something. So we decided to swim around these 4 or 5 persons and meet on the other side.
But when Rolf swims around to the other side of them, Yvonne is gone.
It was quite rough, a lot of work to get there. So on top on a wave, and I was shouting to her that we had to swim to each other, and we tried to. But after a couple of waves there, she was gone, and everyone else was gone. So I was alone, and then my heart was like that.
Kent and Sarah find an upturned raft. They can't right it. They're exposed to the wind and water.
Every time a big wave came, we really had to try to do our best to stay on board.
But even this is a safer bet than the alternatives. Rolf Sorman finds only a broken lifeboat to save him.
It was upside down and broken in the front. And it was very low in the water. It was 2 young people, 2 boys and a girl that I could help up.
The boat then drifts back towards the sinking Estonia. Rolf believes that this is the end.
We passed the Estonia when she is totally upside down, and we could see the bulb. And I felt we were sucked into Estonia, and I thought, oh, shit, no, now I'm going to be sucked into the ship.
Fewer than 300 managed to escape the sinking Estonia. Most remain trapped inside, or unable to let go of the upturned hull. The Silja Europa manages to contact Radio Helsinki, 20 minutes after the Mayday call.
And I saw the ship sinking. In the bow section, it was standing right up from the sea. It was almost like a church tower. Just when the boat was sinking, it was like calm in the sea, and the moon came and lighted up.
Given that we were in this very terrible situation, freezing and fighting to stay on to the raft, still when we looked on the boat, it looked very beautiful, with all the lights on board, and for us, and at least for me, it was very hard to take in this totally horrifying situation overall. So it symbolized something positive instead of something terrible. And I guess the explanation for that is that it wasn't possible to take in what was actually happening.
Nej, se on Estonia. Det är inte valguskusten.
At 1:48, the Estonia disappears from the radar screen at the Finnish military base on the nearby island of Uto. For those fortunate enough to escape, the cruelest battle to survive now begins. Only 137 from nearly 1,000 passengers and crew on board will survive. Even those lucky enough to find life rafts are likely to die from hypothermia.
I remember one very fit guy. The cold just went in through his skin immediately into the bones. So from being approximately 20 in the beginning of this experience, in the morning we were 7 alive.
Michael Un's raft was the right way up, but inside it there are still fatalities.
There was one man mumbling, talking. So I decided that I will hold his head above the surface, so at least he shall not drown in the life raft. So I held him for quite a long time. Then I felt that he was almost getting stiff. Then I decided myself that he is dead.
Having already lost his workmate Ivan at sea, Rolf Sorman holds onto the hands of a young girl across the hull of the upturned boat. For hours, he tries his best to keep her conscious and prevent her from slipping off, until a big wave crashed over her.
She was taken away out into the sea. I couldn't hold her because I couldn't control my fingers.
The first rescue helicopters arrive at 3 a.m. But there are equipment failures, and many survivors die waiting for helicopters to return to base for repairs.
Now in the early morning hours, I really felt that death was eating itself closer to us.
The passenger ferry, the Mariella, which had once had its own visor broken open at sea, is the first ship to arrive at the scene. The crew rescue the first 6 survivors at 3:08 a.m.
The person coming down from the helicopter, he tried to take the guy who was in the worst shape first, but he just panicked and he started to fight with the rescuer. So actually, when he was on his way up to the helicopter, he just started to panic and he actually fell down in the water again and just sank.
By 9 o'clock, the last survivors are rescued. Kent Harstead is one of them. In total, just 94 bodies are recovered. The majority of the 852 victims remain trapped inside the Estonia. The Swedish government decided it was both too expensive and too insensitive to lift the wreck. In the coming months and years, that decision, and the wish to point the finger at anywhere but human error, gave rise to a rash of conspiracy theories, among them sabotage by the CIA or the KGB, or even by gangsters. But the Commission's exhaustive investigation and all credible eyewitness accounts disprove these. It's now clear that the sinking of the Estonia was the result of a chain of unfortunate events and mistakes that conspired with mechanical defects to ensure disaster. The 50-ton bow visor was reclaimed 1 month